to go together. So, what it is we're going to do, we're going to turn the lights on here because we have lights, so that's awesome.
Another important announcement from Brill Cream. Men, beware. Use one dab of Brill Cream. Just a little dab makes your hair look excitingly clean, disturbingly healthy. This man dared to use 2 dabs. Now he's in trouble. We refuse to be responsible.
Brill Cream, a little dab will do ya. Oh, watch out, the gals will all pursue ya.
Now from the makers of Brill Cream, a word to the ladies. Poor gal, there's no one to care. But what can you do for tired hair?
Give it bounce and shine. You can wash them in with the new shampoo called Silvercrin. It does more than clean because built right in is the natural pep of pure Silvercrin.
Everyone knows that's good for your hair. It's what helps put the liveliness there. Try Silvercrin shampoo. You'll declare helps wash new pep into tired hair.
Yeah, what do you guys think of that? That is something else now. Look at us. We're big time. You're probably wondering, hey, isn't that the same thing he was wearing last week? Yes, it is. And let me tell you why. Because, well, if you remember last week, I said that we are going to shoot 2 videos. Well, we're shooting 2 videos, same day. Gross. Let's see here. Okay. Now figure out which way this goes. It goes up. So if you watched last week's video, like I said, we're just mocking up things right now. This is the start of Vampire Van. I've been promising you guys for months that this would start to happen. Here we go. Make sure you turn on your notification bells so you know when I do more stupid things. I mean, look at this. These are pie crusted. That's when you have this design here. So it's a pie crust cheater slick, which means this is smooth, but then you got these grooves here. So these are drag radials. That's what these are. They have a bias ply look to them. But yeah, they're really cool. I love them. Who didn't see that coming? I tell y'all, this here is it's a good time. Love building these things. And then these here are obviously not going to be my, this isn't going to be my permanent setup. I'm actually going to buy a good setup of U-bolts and everything for when I do get this rear end ready to rock. Oh. Tell you what, let me grab you guys and bring you over here. All right, so what we have here is we've got the U-bolts. These are, like I said, this is all just mock-up, okay? This isn't going to be for road safety or anything like that. This is just until we can get the spring perches here, right there, those guys. Get these guys right here. Until we can get those moved over here to where the U-bolts go around so it actually sit on the perches or on the spring itself. We'll get those done, and we got to redo this whole, pretty much this entire axle, or this rear end. Not a big deal. Anyway, so be springs, spring perches, and then we'll come up here to the top, up here, and then we'll run a bar across here to mount our, yeah, see here, there we go, that's better. We're gonna run a bar across here to here to mount our rear shocks to, okay? Now I'm gonna come up here to the front, and if the computer works with, if the camera works with me, we'll install the front end, okay? Yeah. Let's do that. That didn't work like I wanted it to. anything. All right, so to give you guys an idea of what it is we're working with here, I've got this, the front end setup is a Model A front end with a Model A cross member up front. We've got 53 Chevy juice brakes up here on the front as well. These are drum brakes. I don't like the look of disc brakes on an open fendered car because we're not gonna have fenders. The headlights are King B headlights. I bought those at a swap meet several years ago, and they've just been kind of hanging out there on it. The chassis itself, now the chassis is something neat. It's not an original Model T, as you can tell. It is a 1931 Chevy chassis or frame. I bought it probably, 12 years ago, about 12 years ago, I guess. And it's just been kind of hanging out. Bought it for 12 bucks, which was basically a case of beer back then. Fiberglass body, found it online, bought it, and started working on it in Connecticut, down in my basement. As you can see, this is basically as far as we got. This is an original Model A steering column. I'm not going to use this. These are original Model A windshield stanchions. I will be using those. I'm going to take this old wood out and redo it, make everything a lot nicer. This is a Model A rear cross member, Ford 8.8 rear end. Like I was saying earlier, these are drag slicks or street slicks from Towel City Tires in North Carolina. 1960s aluminum Anson racing wheels. Got Unilug wheels up front from, actually I bought those at Speedway. Those are 15 by 7s. These are 15 by 8s in the rear. Let's see here. That entire front end set up there is all from Speedway, okay? The hairpins, everything. We're gonna run a cross member across here for the rear shocks once we get everything back here lined up and where we want it. Normally on a Ford Ranger, which is where this rear end came from, the springs would sit on top of the perches. And what I want to do is I'm going to put them on top of the springs, put the rear end on top of the spring so it's a little bit lower. With that, you have to watch your scrub line though, but like I said, we're not going to be doing a whole lot of craziness with it, okay? But this is the basic setup here for Vampire Van. Turbo 350 transmission. It doesn't look like it, but it has been freshly rebuilt. Chevy 350 came out of a K5 Blazer some years ago. I of course broke this today while moving it because this decided to lay down. But we're going to clean this up, you know, put new seals through everything, getting rid of the PVC, all that mess. I'm going to make it a nice, good, clean engine. Don't know what color we're going to paint it yet. We'll decide that when we decide on the color of the car. And these are Red Line tires. Actually, I found these for 40 bucks for the two of them in a junkyard up in Connecticut. And they've just been hanging out with me ever since. They make great rollers. They look cool. These will never see street use, which they've never seen street use, it doesn't appear. So every foot they've rolled is rolled under one of my projects. So yeah, there we go. And then I guess tomorrow morning I'm gonna come back over here with a few other little things that I forgot, like the U-bolts for the front. As you can see here, I've got to move that pin over just a touch, so that way it falls into that hole, so the front end's centered. And then I've got to get the bolts for the hairpins here. So yeah, it's been a long day to go from having this as just, you know, sitting as such, covered in a whole bunch of stuff in my backyard next to the 70 Hearse, to where it sits right now. Looks pretty darn cool. I'm freaking stoked to see it sitting here. And yeah, let's take a look at these exhaust. So I've got these exhaust. Oh, I mean, how cool is that going to be right there, huh? Yeah. I've got block off plates and all that other such. But the plan is we're going to have the exhaust. That exhaust is going to come here like so. And then I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna have another set come down. It's gonna run probably alongside the chassis. I don't know, alongside the frame. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna call it for tonight. We'll see you guys in the morning. It is day 2 here at the new shop for the Home Chrome, and today we're gonna go ahead and see if we can't put that motor and transmission in, and try to get a few little things kind of buttoned up, kind of give you guys an idea of the direction of which we're taking this thing. And yeah, so pretty simple today. Last night we came in, we got the rear end temped in there, we got the front end temped on. Yeah, so I've got I'm gonna put the U-bolts on today. I gotta get that pin centered in here a little bit better, get that flip back under, and then get the hairpins, get them pinned in. But like I said, we're gonna cut these off at some point and move them inwards, and then we're gonna put probably a 2-inch lowering block on it, because right now that's still pretty good on our scrub line. So that way, we're not sitting, you know, way up high in the back. Because if I bring this up to match where that spring perch would be, it's going to sit up way too high. It's going to have too much of a rake for what I want. I like this right here because it is level as it's going to be, but it still kind of has a, I say level, it still has a little bit of a rake to it. So that's kind of the look we're going for. Yeah, so let's go ahead and let's get it rolled backwards, and we'll get started buttoning up what needs to be buttoned up. Okay. Okay. All right. That is in. Let's go over here. Let's do this real quick. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to start taking these old motor mounts off. I've got motor mounts to make it work with the car. Come on, damn. So yeah, need a little extra leverage. There you go. Get yourself your engine hoist bar, or your jack handle, something. Don't go crazy though, because you will snap. Your ratchet. You don't want to do that, because that'll piss you off. You'll have a bad day and you gotta go buy a new one. It's a whole thing. know what I'm saying? All right. Hey, look at there. I'm gonna need to keep those for what I have coming up next. So, this engine came out of a, what, 80s K5 Blazer, and it was running. So Richard, y'all know Richard, he hit me up one day and says, hey, let's go to Kansas City so I can pick up some motors. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I met him at his house. We went down to Oklahoma City, I'm sorry. Apparently there's a game tonight and somebody from Kansas City's in it. Anyway, so we went down to Oklahoma City, down to his brother's place, and picked up 2 or 3 motors. This was one of them. And so we got to talking. I asked him, I was like, what are you going to do with that 350 back there? You know, what are you going to put it in? He's like, oh, that's yours. I was like, oh, okay. Cool. So I had the T set up for a 350 when I was building it as a truck. It was going to have a 350 in it. Basically everything that you see that I have here, the only difference is it's going to have a box on the back now. It's going to look like a hot rod hearse. Cool. So you guys are caught up to date on the 350. I'm going to make a lot of changes to it. I think when I'm done, it's going to look pretty cool. At least I hope so. Okay. So yeah, guys, like I was saying, if you need a little extra leverage, just get your jack handle, your engine hoist handle, whatever you have lying around, piece of, I don't know, straight bar or whatever. Just stick it on the end of your ratchet. You gotta be careful though, don't go like full ham. If it's way too tight, you'll strip out the inside of these things. And sometimes you gotta remember, it can't be stuck if it's a liquid. And I cannot wait to start building the body. That's going to be here in the next few weeks. I'm going to start mocking it up and making cuts and doing stuff. Man, price of lumber these days is ridiculous. These motor mount bolts are now going to become temporary exhaust bolts, because I really want to get those on so you guys can see what that's going to look like. I've got an air cleaner at home that I've got to find. I don't know what I've done with it, but it's done up in the style of a 50s Cadillac Batwing air cleaner. Really pretty cool. So we'll be getting that on pretty quick. You guys can see what that looks like. All right, let's get this thing up just a little bit so I can bring it down, and we'll slide the transmission over and we'll put that on, again, temporarily. When I say temporarily, I'm not gonna have a torque converter in it, anything like that. It's just gonna be We're just mocking up right now. So I need to figure out how I'm gonna do the steering. I need to figure out all my good stuff. All right, I'm gonna mount this trans up here. I'm just putting in just a couple bolts just to hold it in. Yeah, those aren't gonna be long enough, that's fine. I'll get these tightened down. You know, like I said, we didn't put a torque converter in here because we're not ready yet. All right. Well, let's get the body off the car and we'll stab that in. I don't know about you guys, but the weirdest thing for me about making these YouTube videos is that I'm the only one here. And I know I'm talking to you guys, but it's just weird talking to myself and you know, having one-sided conversations, which you'd think I'd be good at. Because, you know, mortician. Former mortician. All right. Okay, let's get this motor in. Let's go. That's what I like about these little light cars. You can just push them. Just push them. we've got the motor and trans just sitting here in the chassis. I've got the mount bolts in, transmission's not bolted in. So I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna set the body back on, okay? Put the grill shell back on. Then it's gonna kind of start to take a little bit of form here. Give you guys an idea of what it's going to look like. Broke that yesterday, so that's cool. I'll fix these windshield stanchions, and then we'll go from there. There's that. That looks about right. Maybe kind of move it around. Anyway, it's there for right now. Put our Model A grill shell on. Kind of just chills right there. Yeah. Put our roll cap back on here, keep the junk out of it. Okay, there's that. So yeah, everything I do, I'm gonna try and keep it clean because remember, I am basically just borrowing this shop for now. And hopefully we can get something together, make this happen, and we can go move into our own place and really go crazy. But we're gonna go as crazy as I can here. Put a transmission tunnel back on there. Where's my thing? Okay, we'll turn it on. Groovy. All right, now let's put this exhaust on. So what we're going to put on our 350 here, these are called lake style headers. So basically, you can open this up if you want to go full on crazy with your exhaust and you just want that extra power, you don't want any restrictions. This is for like when you're like the guys when they would race out at the Bonneville Salt Flats, things like that. Makes a really cool sound. But then you have this here for your street exhaust, okay? So basically I have an idea for our street exhaust, but I don't want to put that out there just yet, obviously. Because I need to figure out how we're gonna make it work, first of all. Second, you don't need to know everything right now, do you? No, you don't. So anyway, okay. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna put these on and see what she looks like. How freaking cool is that, right? All right, I'm gonna go do the other side. Look at how cool that is. Between that, with that Model A grill, the King Bee headlights. Look at that. I'm gonna see if I can put that radiator in here a little bit and see what it's gonna look like. So this radiator here came out of this radiator is for a 68 Mustang. Obviously with a V8. So yeah, it's just gonna sit right in here. It's gonna sit right in here, but obviously I'm gonna have to make some mounts for it. So that's not a big deal. Okay. Well, yeah. I'm gonna have to run a fan on it. And we'll go from there. So yeah, like I said, still a lot of planning. I mean, look at how cool. Look at how cool. So we're gonna go over here now. Imagine this, you know, with a box that comes up here and come back here, and it's gonna drop off right about in here. Man, that's gonna be so freaking cool. Yeah, I love it, guys. This is cool. Don't know if I'm going to use the roof or not, because it's got some really cool design in it. The roof has got little peaks in it, so I'm going to have to figure out how to cut it to keep the peaks, because I don't want to cut through them. And then I've got to put it all back together. Got to lengthen it. Oh, excuse me. It's a whole thing. Anyway, so here's where we are for now, guys. We got a lot done this weekend. Like I said, this was the move-in weekend, as well as put Vampire Van together, or start putting the bones together. And yeah, so it came along pretty well. I'm going to go over here and fix that stanchion and make it stand straight up. And then I'm going to start planning that box. That'll be not next week, but probably the week after that. I'm heading out to Andy's house out in eastern Kansas, and we're going to work on his boat. So you'll probably get some boat material in there, but this is the one. This is it. This is the build here on the Home of Chrome. I'm not going to be bouncing around much anymore, at least for a while, because I want to get this done. This is just, I'm freaking stoked about it. I mean, it just looks really, really damn cool. So, Vampire Van, Death Trap, whatever you guys want to call it. I'm calling it Vampire Van because, you know, I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, you guys have a great week from the Home of Chrome. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing. Leave your comments down below, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.